Well, last night we drew 1-1 with Crystal Palace, and I think it is really biting every United fan outside the world. But I believe you are not going to win every game, and let's accept the result as it came in through. Though lots of things that people are not giving attention to that I'm going to come here and really highlight, because our drop-off in the second half led us not to double this game. We would have gone ahead to score 2 goals in the second half, or one if at all. Bruno and Rashford were composed enough. I've always come out and told you that it will always come and bite in. It will bite back. People overlook these wins. I've been evident. I've been on record. Every game we've gone ahead to win, Rashford has gone ahead to show some bit of selfishness. That's it. And people have always not given it an eye or a go, because after all, we've gotten the 3 points. But you need to be sorry about that. You need to be paying a lot of attention to detail to understand what I'm talking about. In the game of Man City, if Bruno in the first half concentrates a lot, in the 9th minute, we score a goal. He went in for shot. And if at all we lost that game of football, everyone would have been over Bruno. That Bruno got a chance and never really used it. Rashford got 2 chances. I think there are even 3 in the first half. All of those chances, a cutback and composure, were needed to be made to Anton Martial to tap into the empty net. Rashford went in for selfish effort. That's it. So, these are things that we should go on and really take serious every time we talk about these things. Welcome to United Matters channel. Rokan David is my name. I'm here to do a little bit of a quick player ratings as far as that game of football really happened, because last night I was not able to really come here and really do them for you. But here I am to bring you the player ratings as how they happened yesterday. Let's start with the goalkeeper. I'm going to give David here a 7 out of 10. No, I'm going to give him a 6.5 out of 10. Do you know why I'm not giving him a 7? I'm taking the minus 0.5. Do you know why? He puts a short man Freddy in that wall. If you watch that free kick very well, it passes where Freddy is. Olise capitalizes on the height of Freddy to curl that ball to the back of the net. If you put a tall player there, that ball doesn't pass. You see, that ball doesn't pass because Freddy jumped, but he couldn't really hit the flight of the ball. If you put a tall player there, obviously it turns out to be a deflection, and it goes over the bar and it goes into the corner kick. So, but he really made a very good world-class save in the first half using the tips of his fingers. He tipped that ball and hit the crossbar, and it went to the back of the and it went into the corner kick. But it was a very good shot directed to David De Gea by Matata towards the end of, I think it was the 40th minute before even we scored the goal, because that save comes in through, and then we go ahead and really score that goal from Bruno Fernandes, an assist from Eriksson. Now, we go to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Guys, Bissaka yesterday was one of the best players on the field of play. Trust me. He blocked twice. He blocked Mateta towards the end of the first half. And as the game was ending, in the 93rd minute, Wilfried Zaha bursts into space. Almost we look like it's done. From nowhere, Aaron Bissaka comes in through and slides into him, makes a very good tackle, and obviously the ball is out of the feet of Wilfried Zaha. That's it. So, but it would have ended in a loss totally at Crystal Palace, but he did that block. I'm giving him an 8 out of 10. He went forward very well. The way he really got that ball from the back, the confidence is really growing up. He goes into the half spaces, and his confidence is really great. This is where I come in and really hail Ten Hag, that Ten Hag is a very good manager and coach. See how far he has gone ahead to improve Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He has gone ahead to improve Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and none of us really thought that Bissaka would come in and really put in performances like this. But going forward, he was playing very well. He does the cutbacks, chop backs, making the overlaps, putting in crosses. So I believe I'm giving him an 8 out of 10. Luke Shaw played very well, solid at that side, no more threat, no much threat from his side. He really contained Zaha and Olise, because those two used to interchange, Olise shifting to the left and then to the right. The same applies to Wilfried Zaha, but he really had to maintain him to an extent that Zaha was nowhere to be seen in the game of football, and Patrick Vieira said, let me play you centrally. That's it. And when he brought in Eze, Wilfried Zaha started to play centrally. So it shows you that they did their job and kept the man or the huge lad out of the game of football. And I'm giving him an 8 out of 10. Lisandro Martinez played very well, put in a lot of effort. He was solid as usual, good on the ball, making overlaps through the half spaces. Good player. I think he has got his position back. Trust me, he has his left back position back with that performance he put in against a side known as Crystal Palace. With tall lads like Zaha, like Mateta, guys, Mateta is really a tall guy, but Martinez marked him out of the game. Martinez was never exposed in that entire game. I'm giving him an 8 out of 10. That entire back line really did great. They were not exposed at any point. They played a high line, the recovery was really great, and their transitions were really on point, and their passing was really on point. They are really composed, and they really did a very wonderful job. So I'm giving Martinez an 8 out of 10. Rafael Varane, solid. Rolls Royce, passing on point, very comfortable, recovery every time he lost the ball. He commanded that back line into a very good way. And we never conceded a goal from open play. That was a set piece. Do you have to blame any defender? No, you don't have to blame any defender. So, Rafael Varane, I'm giving him an 8 out of 10. That entire back four deserves an 8 out of 10. David De Gea would have gone out to really get an 8, but that mistake he made of putting Freddy into the human wall. Freddy can't block a free kick. He can't. You need tall people in that area to stand onto that side. So, I believe we missed out onto that, but obviously that was how things were supposed to go. We go to the midfield. Casemiro got a yellow card out of the Arsenal game, played very well. And I think he showed how good this guy is. His seniority was shown yesterday. Very much composed, not going in for efforts that are really so much calling. But for that of the yellow card, the player was really going into the box of it in the 18ers box area of Manchester United, and would have really resulted into us conceding a goal. And that's how Casemiro really got booked and is going to miss the Arsenal game. But I'm giving him an 8 out of 10. Played very well, controlled that midfield, obviously, and he was really passing that ball very, very great. And he was going in for anticipative passes that sometimes met Anthony or Bissaka and sometimes they didn't. But it shows you that his anticipation was all out there. Worries there that we're going to play Arsenal without Casemiro, but I believe, as Ten Hag said, we've beaten Arsenal without Casemiro. That's it. And I believe we are going to take a game to Emirates. That's it. A physical game. And my advice is simple. If Newcastle went to Emirates and kept a clean sheet and they made it hard for Arsenal to score, I think we can do the same. We can do the same. Play a deep line, invite pressure, but use or capitalize on the pace of Marcus Rashford and Anthony through the midfield. That's it. Bruno, Eriksson, Scott McTominay or Freddy, they should be given orders that when you get that ball into the half spaces and you burst into space. I think that's going to be the plan, because Arsenal is going to come out to play their game. The way Arsenal is going to play is known. So I believe, however much Casemiro is away, we can win this game of football. An 8 out of 10 for me. Then Eriksson in the first half, 8 out of 10 performance in the first half. Second half, 6 out of 10. So if at all you add that, he gets a 7 out of 10, because in the second half, we lost shape. Do you know why we lost shape? Bruno Fernandes had a very bad positional sense. He couldn't position himself well. A central attack midfielder has to be or spend most of his time in the central axis. That's where he's supposed to be. But for Bruno, he was everywhere. You get? He was everywhere. And this is where you come out and ask yourself, why did he really have to do that? So I'm giving Eriksson a 7 out of 10. Bruno, he scores a goal, puts us ahead, good. First half, he really played very good. 8 out of 10 performance in the first half. Second half, 5 out of 10 for me. 5 out of 10. He was really deadly. He was really bad in the second half. He was really bad. So he's getting himself a 6.5 out of 10 for my ratings. That's it for Bruno Fernandes. And his positional sense should change. He should know that when you're playing as a cam in such a game when you're leading, It's you to dictate the game. It's not Casemiro. Casemiro's job is to protect the back four, of which he did it very well. Get that ball, pass it to Bruno. Bruno, control the game. Give us the dynamism in this game. Give us the direction. You get? You have to dictate the pace at which this game of football is going to move. The rhythm of the game is supposed to be managed by Bruno Fernandes. But did you see him manage the rhythm of the game? He needs to manage the rhythm of the game, knowing that now we are going to go quick. Now we are going to go slow. You pass a ball to a player as you tell him, calm down. We are in the lead. You get? But it looked like Bruno had lost his head in the second half because he was supposed to give us that control, and that is something that we are really lacking. You get? If we concentrate more and get control of that game, we get a second goal in the second half. But because we lacked concentration in that game, we lose. We lose the second half because we won the first half by 1-0. Crystal Palace won in the second half by 1-0. That's why the final result was 1-1 by the time the referee blew the 90th minute or the final whistle. So we go to Anthony. 6 out of 10 for me. Till now, I'm asking myself, why doesn't Anthony capitalize onto cutting into the half spaces? Because that wide area should be left for Bissaka. That's it. I want to see him cutting inside. You get that ball. You are having some good pace. Cut inside. You get? Because if you don't cut inside, you are not a threat to the player. Every time you go wide, it's like we are helping our opponents to reorganize themselves. You cut inside. That means you are approaching the goal area. And those are areas where he goes ahead and really scores good goals. His colors that are really great. But I'm asking myself, why does he always approach the wide areas? Why doesn't he cut inside? Even if he does not have that chance of cutting inside, all right, take an extra touch and pass into the axis. Into the central axis. When you pass it the central axis, then that player there will do a return pass, or a wall pass that will help you really be free and obviously exploit those spaces. So I'm giving him a 6 out of 10. We go to Marcus Rashford, 6 out of 10 for me. In the first half, Marcus Rashford gets a 7, because he plays a very beautiful pass to release Eriksen. Eriksen does a cut back to Bruno, then Weghorst sends 3 defenders away. Almost it was a penalty for Bruno Fernandes, and Bruno Fernandes took it very well to make it 1-0 for United in the 43rd minute. But in the second half, Rashford was selfish. He was selfish. On 3 occasions, he had to make a pass to a fellow United player, but he was going in for shots where he was in a forest of legs of players of Crystal Palace. You don't do that. You don't do that. You don't do that, Rashford. You get? You see, in the first half, for us to get that goal, you do the easy pass. In games like this, you're going to get to know that it's hard. I have to go in for the easy pass. And that's what I was supposed to go on and go for. But obviously, he never at any one point went for that. So I'm giving him a 6 out of 10. And secondly, him tracking back. Rashford doesn't want to track back. I think this is what caused Bruno to run from the central midfield and obviously follow up that tracking up of Rashford. Rashford doesn't want to track back. I don't know why. Yet he has to track back. Even the game of City, he had costed us a goal in the first half because of him not wanting to track back. He exposed Malacia to a 1v2 scenario in that game of football, and he was almost beaten. So 6 out of 10 for me. Then Weghorst, 6.5 for me. People won't know. If I told you into the game of football, you won't know the importance of Weghorst. He was really a very important player. He was our pinnacle. You get? He was our focal point, and he played that role very well. To know his importance, look at how many times we broke into that space or that backline of Crystal Palace after that interplay between Weghorst and Bruno Fernandes, Weghorst and Eriksen. He has that perfect one touch on him. The receiving touch is really great, and he does not really make very many touches. He receives with a single touch and finds a United player. And for that goal that we score, you see what a number 9 does. He runs into the mouth of goal. A cutback is made. Bruno Fernandes was in yards of space alone. He controlled the ball and placed it into the back of the net. So for Bruno Fernandes, he scored his 55th goal for Manchester United, and that means he is now having 100 goal involvements ever since he played for Manchester United in 2020 when he reported here. So Weghorst played very well, receiving on the half turns. He got one header, directed it on goal, but it was really not all that on target. But we lacked crosses. You know, when you're having a player like Weghorst, you need to capitalize on to bring in those crosses because that's his other strength. So thank you very much for watching in through. Let's go to Alejandro Garnacho, 6 out of 10. Freddy, 6 out of 10. Responsible for that foul that resulted into a goal. Then, who else was brought on? I think they brought on Freddy, Alejandro Garnacho. I think those are the players that we have brought on, not so? So, those were my player ratings. For the manager, I'm giving him a 7 out of 10 because I can't blame Erik ten Hag because he has nothing to do. He lacked quality off the bench. This is where we pray to it that Sancho recovers enough, Martial returns, because if at all, you're having Sancho, Garnacho, Freddy, and Anton Martial on that bench, we win that game. Martial comes in through, gives us a different type of focal points, receiving on the half turn, dropping in the center, playing well with his back to goal. Obviously, his inclusive play, we get in total control of this game of football. You have Sancho. You don't need to take Bruno out of the central midfield to accommodate players like Scott McTominay or who. What you do, you bring Sancho, Swift plays off the right as a right winger. Rashford stays on the left. Bruno stays in the central attacking midfield. Martial leads the line. You win that game. Sancho is a threat. Martial is a threat. Obviously, you get a way of capitalizing. And those chances that Rashford was getting, if it's Martial, his concentration levels are really high. He will not go in for selfish effort. He will look out for a player who is well placed or positioned in the box and really pass that ball to him. That is what Rashford is lacking onto this game. So guys, thank you very much for watching in through. What are your player ratings according to the game that we lost yesterday? Go into the comment section. Tell me what you think about my player ratings. I sign out for now. See you later. First video of the day. More are yet to come. May the Almighty God bless you abundantly. I'm out.